That's the way a 283 should run. All right, 64 Chevy Suburban. We're back on it this week. Let's get that carburetor straightened out. Okay, let's pull this carburetor off. I got a pair of pliers and a 9/16 wrench. I think that's all I need to pull the carburetor off. This is the one I got the other day off the marketplace. This is the one that came on an intake manifold with a 327, what the guy told me years ago. Anyways, I've used all these parts to put them together. So we've got a vacuum line here. I've got this throttle deal here. That drops off. I guess I may not even need the pliers. I got the heat riser here. Oh, there's one little clip in there. And then otherwise you got, messed up. These are 1/2 inch. All right, my first delay of the day. So on these particular carburetors, I got 2 tall bolts that go through, like so. And then there's 2 shorter ones in the back that are nuts, right? And there was a suggestion by a fella, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name. Most of the times I don't know people's names. When you leave a comment, it gives like an email address or whatever. You know, you guys look at that, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so sometimes I don't know who's leaving the comments, where you live, any of that stuff. But he had suggested an Edelbrock AV2, I think is what it was. And that sounded great. I looked it up and they're like $430. And I was just like, man, I just don't have that in my budget, you know? I would love to have done what he suggested. I do have a HEI distributor in the back, which what I was talking about changing, but I'm going to deal with the carburetor today, solve that one problem, and then move to the second problem, which would be the ignition, which it works. I'm just trying to upgrade it, get a little bit better. I have those parts. I thought it would be cool to leave the points and everything, but I'm not that committed to it any longer. I'd rather have it dependable and drivable. And I had mentioned in a few earlier videos about a YouTube channel. It's a time commitment. And it's a strenuous time commitment right now. I remember I watched a fella, I think he was out of Tennessee, Missouri, somewhere like that. And he said, you're looking at a guy who's been working himself to death for 2 years at a full-time job and a YouTube channel, and he's doing real well. I enjoy watching his stuff. But then I'm like, man, it's a commitment to do a video every week. But let me tell you the benefits. The benefits have been I've gotten a lot of projects done that have been kind of gnawing at me for a few years. You know, everybody goes through cycles in their life, and this isn't counseling, but this is cycles in your life where you're more productive and you're not. Your family life might be good, it might not be. Your financial situation might be good, it might not be. Your children need more attention at times than others, and all of a sudden your projects get put to the wayside, and it kind of gnaws on you. You feel like you're not efficient. Well, YouTube has motivated me to do that, and it's kept me on a schedule, which has been good. But then I find myself resenting the fact that I have to continue, even though it's self-inflicted. It's a quandary. So I try to make a good video every week, and I know sometimes some are better than others, and I haven't even reached the part yet where it's becoming fun. Right now I'm doing all the work in the hopes, and this is where you, the viewer, comes into play. And I don't want to seem like a beggar. Oh shoot, I just lost that that little clip. I'll have to look for it now. What it is it's an interactive program. Watching is one part of it. Subscribing, commenting, thumbs up, thumbs down, any of that stuff that's interactive helps the AI recognize my videos. And so if I can continue to give good content, you guys give good suggestions, it's a marriage that's going to be beneficial for everyone. Anyways, That's the carburetor. It didn't take me but one little lecture to get it off. If you recall, the damage was here. Let's take these over to a table and see what the differences is or not. Hey, let's look inside too. This is the first time I ever had this carburetor off. And you know, when you're buying parts off of Craigslist or off of different forums or sites, you just take the word of it. And if you haven't done that, you know what? If you haven't done that, take a few minutes. Let me put you up here so you can see me. If you haven't done that, bought things offline because you think you can't trust people or whatever, spend a few minutes, get to know them, talk to them about their project, what they're doing. You know, you'll find that a lot of people are pretty easy to get along with, and they want to see success. And yes, there's some shysters out there. We all know that, and you guys will recognize it, but the rest of them are just guys like myself, other guys on YouTube. We're just trying to keep this old junk together. And let me talk about, this guy might be watching, who I bought the carburetor from. I told him about my channel, and he sent me a message that he'd watched some. Anyways, good guy. He was very clear on what his ad was, an older carburetor, and I said, that's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And so this stuff is out there. Old equipment is out there, old parts and pieces. Sometimes the prices seem a little ridiculous. Sometimes they're a good deal. And what it is it's a union of respect, because ultimately people who have these older items, they want to see them being used in a good manner, right? So if you're a guy who's got a bunch of old parts and you've been holding on to them for a long time, and somebody younger than you or your age says, hey, I could use that, think about, is that going to help this vehicle, right? Now, I could go put a newer carburetor on it. Yes, I could go spend the money. But something about opening the hood and seeing some of the original stuff still in use, that gives its quality. The other day, I would give a big, you know, not looking good for Chevy. Okay, well, that's not fair. But this is a project, and I'm going to have ups and downs on it. But finding parts and pieces that are original to it that are still working 60 years later, come on, that's American ingenuity. That's the stuff that America was built on. That's the stuff that we think we should continue to try to do, because I'm trying to avoid buying Chinese parts to put on. They're not that I don't think they're good or nothing. It's nothing like an original, you know? It's nothing like having a piece that was put on it originally and it made it work. I didn't want to get this aluminum radiator, but my other one was so bad I had to. So these values, these parts have value, but overall, can you keep it pure? Sometimes, and sometimes you can find the pieces and parts. And so if you guys are the ones selling those parts, just think of that when you're selling them. It's money is part of it, but what is it going to? And you know, I've literally had conversations with people who said, I'm only going to sell it if I know somebody's going to use it, or it's going to go to a good home. So just consider that this hobby of old cars, yes, it can be a business for some people, but for the rest of us, it's just we enjoy this stuff, and we just want to keep that going, right? It's like the same idea if a hiker wants to keep the trail open because he enjoys the beauty. You know, it's the idea of we enjoy this genre of vehicle. We want to see it on the road. We want to see it being used. Car shows are one way, but then just everyday drivers are another, and I'm kind of in the everyday driver market. Anyways, let's get this thing taken apart, see if we can make it work for another 60 years. Okay, I kind of got set up on the table. I haven't really done anything. I've just been looking, comparing, looking at, we talked about this a little bit last time. There's some different ports, you know, otherwise everything looks the same. This was the deal. This was a bigger diameter than this one, and I wonder if I could just take this part out and thread it into there, because my threading in here was bad. I'm going to take these apart for two reasons. One reason is I want to make sure the jets are the same size. That this bolts onto the manifold, no problem. These appear to be the same size. And again, I don't know anything about quadrajets, okay? I know it's a quadrajet because it says so. Right there, Rochester quadrajet. And then I've got this one, it says Carburetor carburetor for GMC quadrajet. So same, not same. Is that the right word? Same, not same. Remanufactured carburetors had a number on it, so it's probably going to be okay. And I don't really want to take these apart, to be honest with you. I just would rather throw it on there. But when I look inside, they're both the same barrel size. But I don't know anything about the jets, and it makes me wonder about that. So I have to, do I take a chance and put it on the engine and do it twice? Or do I just go ahead and take one apart and look at the jets? I'll take my bad one apart first, and that way if it's no good, you know, it's no good. We'll start with the easy stuff that I know I can. I don't know if this camera view is going to be very good. Okay, I got John now to run the camera. Hopefully we'll get a better view. Again, I'm sorry if this is boring. Carburetor, electrical, and there was one other thing that the YouTube
brakes. Brakes.
So the YouTube internet just doesn't seem to really care about. And I'll be honest, I don't either. But I have to make a video showing that I know how to fix things because that's what you expect to see. I want to get away from that, and I want to do more driving, more hot rod, and more cruising, more adventuring, but I got to get my junk ready to go. I had big plans for this Suburban. I like it. So let's get going. And I mentioned earlier in another video, if you see something here you like, let me know. I might sell it to you. But then again, I'm wishy-washy, and if you are going to send me an email, send me a price, what you're offering too, you know, then we can be like, yeah, that's a good idea, or no. People always hate to set the first price on anything. Let's clean the outside of this, John. Let me hold it over the ground here so I don't. So this is a completely unknown carburetor to me, to the seller, to you on the internet. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I know about it. Let me go grab some rags. Put it on pause, John. So what I was saying, let me tell you what I know about it. First of all, it has dirt on it. That's a good sign. It has paint on it, which means somebody put it on something and then did some painting, which is mean it's been there a while. It just wasn't one that, it most likely was taken off of a running vehicle at some point. Now, why was it out of service? Did they have problems with it? Was it too big? Did it not function? Was somebody not happy with the result? That, I don't know. It has a rebuild tag on it, which is always a good sign. From what year, I don't know. It would appear that whoever did this last one put new screws in it. I bet we're going to find this is a real quality rebuild, John. Real quality.
Or they just made it showy on the outside and all the inside's not good.
Oh. If it was rebuilt at a real rebuild place, they, you know,
guarantee their work and stuff.
Yeah, I thought. Do they even sell rebuilt carburetors? See, we like an exchange. You used to turn your old carburetor in, they'd sell you a new one, and then they would take it to the rebuilders and they would package it. You know, rebuild it, package it. You know, do they still do that? I mean, most of the stuff now is coming out new.
Yeah, you can still find rebuilt stuff. It's just harder.
There used to be local places that would rebuild carburetors, starters, alternators, generators.
No, you got any fun stories from any of those?
No, I already told the one about my WD-45.
But did it make it on a video?
You know, I don't know. Put it in the comments if I've already told this story. It's very possible for some of you guys who've been longtime viewers, you will hear the story again. Yeah, so this WD-45, it's an Alice Chalmers. I paid $1,100 for it. It had a broken timing gear. I went to this old tractor place, I don't know, 10 miles from here, and they had nothing but AC stuff, right? That's Alice Chalmers for the novice. And I'm not a farmer, but I understand tractors, and I thought I wanted to mess with this. And anyways, I replaced the gear for $60, got it back in time, and the starter was giving me issues, so I took that off, and they just have one big bolt, and it slides in. You could, I mean, I think it was designed for the farmer to have like a pair of pliers for everything on the tractor. Anyways, the guy rebuilt it. I took it home. It didn't work. I complained a little bit, like, hey, man, it doesn't work. It hardly turns it over. And he says, no, there's nothing wrong with it. He tested it again on the bench, just like we found with that solenoid the other day on that Will It Start Ford. It bench tested all right, but then under a load, it wouldn't. So he lived just a few miles from me, ironically, and I gave him my address, and he come by, and he ground on that thing for a few minutes with his own truck jump starting it, and he until that thing was smoking and burning and it's red hot. And I go, hey, you're ruining it. He goes, yep. He said, but I guarantee it'll work when I bring it back. No extra charge. That was quality. I think I'm gonna try leaving this one in and doing that. But I'm just saying, it's hard to find people like that anymore that have passion about their work, want to make it right. Oh, look at that. I guess that's probably what's called a vacuum secondary. I don't know. So how does Darian get that apart?
Hammer.
No. You don't use a hammer on a carburetor, silly kid. No, these are definitely smaller. All right, so this was a good decision so far. You know, at the end, it doesn't have to be a good decision. It's just at the time, if you feel like it's a good decision. Like right now, I feel that the hour I've invested in destroying 2 carburetors has been a good decision. So now I'm going to spend 30 minutes to assemble this. Let's put these jets in here. You just drop them in. Drop them in.
Just drop them on the floor.
Then you spend 10 minutes trying to get it to thread with a screwdriver. Bada bing, bada boom. See, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, John, this is the beauty of it. If you're still watching, I appreciate it. YouTube puts a commercial on, which I don't appreciate. I hate commercials. Hit the skip button, don't care. But because the commercial's on there, some big fancy industry is going to give me a few cents per commercial watch. That few cents will turn into $1 or $2 or 10. And then instead of me having to work on carburetors, I can go to the store and buy a brand new one and just put on there and it'll be free because commercialisms would have bought it for me. Isn't that great? You guys wouldn't get wholesome content like this anymore. And I'd just be a big box guy. I'll just go to Jegs and order it all, put it on a pallet, and you go, look, well, that wasn't really a challenging. Where'd the grassroots of this guy repairing it come from? Any of you guys Volkswagen guys, you remember that book, How to Keep Your Volkswagen Running? It was like a comic book. They're hard to get now, but anyways, I had one once years ago when I had a 65 Baja. Anyways, this book was written like comedy. So you're stuck on the road and you need to get into Tucson or whatever. This guy was a hippie, right? And he wrote all this stuff on how to make your junk work. It was cool because it was cool. Ooh, teenage. You might have something there, teenage kid. There it goes. Had to put some meat to it. Anyways, I found before on these that stuff can get in between here and the. It's like green gasoline usually. That.
Oh, algae in the gasoline.
Yeah. All right, this one looks good. The O-ring looks good. Stop touching stuff, Darian. You got it fixed. Just put it together.
Yeah, all of a sudden you wipe some crud off of it and then it won't seal anymore.
Has anybody else ever done that? You fiddled with it so much that you actually ruined it? Am I the only guy who's done that?
I'm sure everyone's done that at least once in their life.
You ever try to fix something and you actually work it worse?
Mm-hmm.
No. You're like, well, that was broke. Oh, here's another one. If you've ever gone to the store to buy a new part, promptly brought it home, broke that part, go back to the store and need another one, and they go, you're back already? And say, yeah, but just tell me another one. The worst part is when the people try to be weaselly and say, that part broke on me, I need a new one, your parts are junk. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Why are you buying another one?
Don't be such an animal. Hammers will wreck stuff quicker than anything I've ever dealt with. So this...
I'm sure a cutting torch would also ruin stuff fast.
This afloat. I'm going to make the assumption that it's still going to work.
Why wouldn't it? The other one still works.
And then I'm going to make the assumption that this thing goes through like that. Oop. And it went down in there. And then this piece went in here. Now, does the float actually float? See how it's not wanting to move?
I just fill it with WD-40 or something. Sure, that'll fix it.
Yeah, I don't like the way that kind of moves. Hey, 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 get out of here. I need the other one, not you. I put new jets in you. Come on, man. The great thing about a rag is when you grab it, it messes everything up. So let's, yeah, maybe it needs the fuel to lubricate it. It just seems like it's stuck in there too much.
You could spray some of your cleaner on there too.
I think it might have swelled a little bit.
Oh, then get your knife and shape down the sides.
If I take some sandpaper, I can... Delay! Okay, so off camera, I took a little sandpaper on the edges of those, and look. See, it's freed up. Before it was jamming. All right, anyways. So, now I have to see if I can get these needles match those jets. And hopefully, now this is the part that's magic. You have to get these, obviously, to fit this hole. But then you see the needles down there, they gotta go. And we don't even know if this is gonna work yet. I wanna say it's gonna work, but you see how those needles come down? Now these are very fragile, John. These needles, if they don't go in the jet hole there, and you try to jam them, you'll fold the end of the brass over, and you just have literally destroyed what you were working on.
Yeah.
Now you gotta get that lined up with that. Of course, I'm too old to really see. Alright, see how it goes in? Okay, can you zoom in there and see how the needles are in the jet hole? See how when this lifts up, so that's basically like a valve. When the gas lifts up, more fuel can go through. When this is down, they're tapered, right? So if it's, look at this one here, this was the size. So you see how that's tapered? When it's down, it like closes it off. When it opens up, it...
Hold on, you go moving it. I want you to focus on that.
It's not gonna.
It did for a second.
Oh, Rolly's back.
There we go, focused.
Okay, so anyways, that's tapered, right? So when this is down, it has less fuel, right? So then when it comes up, see it's spring loaded, which is what it's designed to do. That piece goes over. Accelerator pump, spring on the bottom. On accelerator pump, you want to make sure that this rubber is in good shape. This one looks good. Like I say, there was no problem with this most likely. And then that fits in a bore. And when you give on the throttle, it gives it a little jolt.
A little extra gas.
So now this, all right, in this case it fits through. So now we put the gasket back. This is why we were careful not to create ourselves a problem. It holds itself together. That should still function. It does. Now is the real work. All right, let's talk about the real work. You see those?
Oh, putting the other needles back in?
Now sometimes you can get them to go right in, no problem, lickety split. But you're also dealing with that rod at the same time. You're dealing with that rod at the same time. So what I found to be successful is I just remove, let's see if I can strip that out. Okay, looks like I want to strip that out. Move up a size. Okay.
Good thing it was brass.
Yeah, let's make everything fragile and tiny.
Well, brass doesn't stick as much.
Yeah. And then let's make it 50 years old. If I get those out of there...
I don't think they intended to make it 50 years old. I think it just happened on its own.
Yeah, you must have been a wizard if you were good with carburetors. So what you want to do with these is... Okay, I can see through that one. I don't know if I can see through that one. Alright, that could be a problem.
Well, you get a wire and shove it through.
I see it through now. I see it through. Those collect vents. Anyways, if a carburetor sat for a while, you could have a little bee's nest in there, a fly dropping, something, and it won't feed right, and it will never run right. And you go, why is this piece of junk not running right? And that would be the reason. So this one went up here like that. Now this is where the swearing's going to start.
Oh, so this is where the music starts.
No, not every time is there music, is there swearing. Oh, you know what I forgot?
No. I'm sure it'll be fine.
You don't need an accelerator pump. And it went in the first time perfect. This might be a turn off the camera, you give me a hand deal, because now I need a third set of hands.
Alright, I'll stop.
Yeah, let's put on pause, John. We're going to get right back to you. I need his hand for a second. That only took a minute and a half. Sorry you missed it. The issue, John, come here and tell me what the issue was. We had to get that rod indexed down inside to that thing so that when that moved, that moved, that moved. When this, I don't have any screws in it yet, so I don't want to screw myself. But when this moves, well, let me put some screws in it so that it doesn't push the top off. So I took this out, and so far it's looking good. And let's compare with the other, because I think this is what was messed up on it.
Probably.
Because it's got that great big.
Yeah, it's for all the fuel. I just break it.
I might.
Hit it with a hammer.
I might.
You won't.
You're not the boss of me. Looks like that got smashed over.
No, it might have been put in wrong.
Oh,
You broke it, huh?
look at that. It was never even going to work anyways.
You get a screwdriver and hit it with a hammer.
What the devil? How would this even have worked?
Well,
I bet there was some little minor problem with this carburetor. And somebody took it off and said, this thing's junk. Look at that. That thing was jammed clear up against the...
Well, yeah, because this side.
Because they put the spring on the wrong side? But
Yeah,
look.
they did it wrong. Because this side goes into the filter.
Yeah.
And that side does
that
not.
was jammed up against there.
I have a feeling this is why the carburetor was never used.
Isn't it a... This is like a mystery. It's like finding a great treasure. It's like, see, if I had just tried to put that on there, I'd have been, oh, stupid carburetor's a piece of junk. Then the guy took advantage of me. No, somebody else, whoever.
The rebuild factory.
Well, no, it ran. Somebody did. Junk, man.
How do you know it ran? They could have just filled the fuel bowl.
Because it had all that dirt on it.
They could have just filled the fuel bowl. Or, you know what, they did change the filter and then it didn't work, so they were like, oh, we're done.
And so they couldn't say, hey, the only thing I did was change the fuel filter, now it doesn't work. Look at that, gasket's leaking.
It probably was a little tired. And they went, oh, it's junk, I'll just get a new one.
There's more threads in there. I wonder if I could have just...
Tightened it harder.
No, it's all stripped to there. Go ahead and look inside, Johnny.
Am
I in your way?
A little bit.
Am I in your way? Okay, these are not interchangeable. So I have to go get a fuel...
Make it happen.
A fuel-filled line of some kind to do that, because that's...
Or you get this size.
Yeah.
For that one.
I need some kind of something.
An adapter.
Yeah, we'll take this with us when we go to the store. Should I get a new filter while we're there?
Probably, because does this one fit?
Well, maybe. Was it wrong?
No, it's the wrong size.
No, I'll just get the right one, because I have this piece. Okay, I already can tell you I'm not happy, John, because this... Is this going to work? Hey, I might be happy now.
I'm going to be unhappy about this because it's wrong. Oh, it's right.
Well, it had the right hole. It's like GM said, what
it makes
think in 2024, some guy is going to try to put an old GMC carburetor on a small block 283 that has a 327 intake manifold, but he's going to use jets from this other carburetor to try to make it work in his backyard. Why he's being filmed and watched by many tens of people. All right.
At least 10.
I got some, let me go get a piece of vacuum hose for there. So that one goes there.
No, just braise it on there.
And then I need a vacuum cover for that one and that one.
Be overly confident in your work and then have to cut it off.
I think the choke is going to be an issue because it doesn't even want to flex. But then again, maybe it's because
It has to do with a bunch of stuff, probably.
vacuum would drop, that would open up, and then the rods would go all over the highway.
You think this engine could do that?
Oh yeah, any engine can blow up. That's not hard. Okay, so before I forget, I'm going to put this one back together just to hang on the wall of shame. Because in 20 years, I might need it, you know. Come on, GM, do me good here. Whoa, whoa, oh, is it on?
Then probably not.
Oh,
Now it is.
Shoot, yeah. Okay, winner, chicken dinner. Now we just got to figure out our tubing, which is easy to...
Which is easy to guess.
I don't know how to... Easy. Yeah, we got to go... yeah.
Well,
you know what? Maybe I'll braise a couple of tubes together for a fuel leak somewhere down the road. Okay.
I'll do it with fuel running through it. Start the fuel pump, and then brace it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that looks horrible. Let's go get some vacuum plugs somewhere.
I thought you...
Why are you always in the way?
I thought you were going to go behind, so...
Why would I go behind the camera, John? We don't do behind the scenes on this channel.
We're currently doing behind the scenes.
Well, this whole video is going to be terrible, and I apologize. But you know, you got to take the good with the bad. There's no cherry picking on here. You get a good video, you get a good video. Speaking of good videos, I keep reiterating, go back and watch some of my better stuff in the summer. I think it's better stuff. I don't know, maybe you guys put comments on there. Nobody even knew I was alive back then, so I mean, there was some stuff we were doing I thought was fun. And now you're watching, that's too small. I bought this kit for $4 or $5, I don't know. Because I'm not picking on China, it's just, come on, give us some good quality stuff. And
They did, just not a good quality in our idea of quality.
Quality? So if I put this one over here like this, John, then I won't have any vacuum advance, right?
Sure.
But then if I cut the end off like this,
Yeah, you'll just have vacuum advance, but with
now I'll have vacuum advance.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. My brain wasn't connecting the dots.
I know. I'm helping you figure it out.
Yeah, I hope you figure it out too.
I don't know whether that's tight enough. Maybe we'll put a little clamp on that. Maybe I'll just jam it into the thing and...
You know how vacuum works, right?
Yeah, it creates a leak.
No, when it starts, it's gonna suck that closed. Come on.
You're an optimist. Do I just keep tightening that until it strips out?
Yeah, I would.
I know you would. That's too small too.
It solves the problem of going, oh, I can reuse this carburetor.
Yeah, it'll go on the wall of shame in a few minutes. Does anybody else have a carburetor wall of shame? I got a wall of shame carburetor. I probably should get a wrench to tighten this one.
No, it doesn't need to be tight, just finger tight.
And then I gotta find a piece of rubber hose to put between these.
I'll just use another one of your vacuum things.
I'll just solder it. I got some hose right there. If I play my cards right, I could probably cut that down. Oh, look at all that crap in that filter. Oh, that's just oil. Never mind.
It's just oil leak from the leaky engine.
Yeah. I brought two. Do you think one of those will fit?
No, I think you'll have to go back and do it again.
Ooh, that's loosey.
So that one's wrong.
Just right.
Maybe next time.
Stop before you strip it, Darian.
Nah,
Don't be like the last guy. And that wasn't me who stripped that, John.
Where's your proof?
I have none. Okay. All right. Let's put some power to it and see where the leaks are in the gasolina system. See if we have any Now, I didn't put the oil in the transmission, okay?
So let's start it and burn up the transmission.
No, let's just see if we can get spark and fuel out of it. All right. You keep an eye on that for overfilling carburetors and problems like that.
I didn't notice that it was leaking the last time. How do you think I'm gonna do it now? It's leaking.
Where?
It's leaking. Right there.
Is it really?
Oh, from the brass. Yeah, there.
Right there? Winner. Okay. Does the where's my bucket? I lost my bucket.
Your anti-short bucket.
Oh man, that's a win so far. See if we get any spark. I'm gonna hit the key.
I don't want.
Last time a bunch of snow went in the distributor.
No spark.
Sounds like it's getting spark.
It feels like it too.
Did you get shocked?
Yeah, I went to touch your
Show
tester.
the camera my laughing face, silly. You did what?
I went to touch your tester. It might be on camera, and I got shocked.
I saw your hand move quick like you got bit.
Ah.
I think it's revved up enough.
I don't know what you said. A good thing there's no oil in the transmission.
That's why I turned it off, silly. Besides that, I had the clutch down. That shaft wasn't turning. Come on. Do you think I was born last night?
Yeah, probably.
Let's jack it up. Let's put stupid oil in the stupid transmission. Let's set the idle down. Let's tune it.
Also, I'm pretty sure Ford sparks worse when you grab them.
You think so? They're stronger?
Well, when you grabbed the Ford wire, it went through your elbow and into the hood of the truck.
Yeah. Well, let's. Should I use a zip tie that'll last for a couple of minutes? Let that sharp right there rub on that radiator hose like it was wanting to do.
Yeah, poke a hole in your
Well, it's easy to
radiator
flood
hose.
because did you hear I was missing blah 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 blah. Then it cleaned itself out.
No.
So let's go ahead and put oil in it. I don't think we're going to show that, John.
You know what? You don't want to show them.
Nah, I think the video's getting too long. Turn that thing off. Let's put oil in it, and then we'll come back.
All right.
Now why does it not want to idle? Didn't hardly turn it. Go hit the key, John. I'll do the throttle, you do the key.
All right. You ready?
Yeah. Go ahead. The idle circuit is not working. It will not idle. Okay, it needs to be revved up to run. It's not working. I didn't clean it good enough. There's something wrong inside of it. There was a reason I don't understand. That being said, let me think about what to do. It runs. I'll show you. You know what? You film that, and I'll show them what it's doing.
Hey.
Okay, so you guys see what's going on there? It'll run high RPM, no problem. Sounds awesome. It's got lots of, you know, noise coming out of it. But if you don't feather it, so there's one little something clogged somewhere and it's not getting fuel on the idle circuit. I'm thinking. Okay, bonus footage. Yesterday. It's raining today. Yesterday, I kind of closed out the video. The thing wasn't idling. Later that evening, after I did all the things that were stressing me out, I took the dogs for a walk, and in the middle of that, I realized I had forgotten one very important component. Some of you have already identified it. Awesome. If you knew it was this vacuum plug in the base of the carburetor on the back, that would be a vacuum port for maybe power brakes or something. If you recognize that, then you would be like, oh yeah, well, in my rush to get things done yesterday, I got myself all, you know, frustrated. And a critical component, this is a plug that I got out of one of my other carburetors off the wall of shame. Let's go put it in. I bet it'll idle like just perfect. We're getting a wonderful Washington day today. Let me show you what I'm talking about for you. Hopefully you guys will be able to see the base of that. I don't know, can the camera do justice? There's a great big hole back there. I'm just gonna hold you because I'm getting wet. Anyways, this plug threads in. I put some tape on it. Hopefully it's the right size. I did so good at making sure the vacuum plugs were on the front, I completely forgot about this. That should set the choke. Neutral. Give it a couple of squirts. Perfect? Not really. Let's go out of the rain. So I guess let that be a lesson to you. Keep your cool with your projects. Take your time. I find for myself when I start to go wrong, if I just leave it alone and walk away, it comes to me later. I'm happier with this than I was yesterday. I'll get that choke figured out, get the linkage figured out when it's not raining. Set the idle correctly now that I've got it running well. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm thinking about Petronics. I liked it in the 306. I could use my wires and cap and everything I already have. I'm thinking about it. We'll see how this points do. Oh, it could be running out of gas. It's almost empty. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.